Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I wanted to do a video featuring this new mini palette from Viseart. This is their Lilas palette. And I recently did one with their Praline palette. I will link it for you here as well as the description bar down below. But this one, I don't speak French, so I did a little research. And the title Lila is the name for lilac. So this is kind of a taupey, almost, I was gonna say, you know, lavender-ish, but not really. But you can see what I'm saying here. We've got some silvery metals. It's definitely a cooler look. But this shade right here, this is the one that's called Lilas. I didn't realize this until I was almost done with the other video, but the names are on the back here. They're not anywhere on the palette. So if you're curious, you may want to hang on to this if you want to know what the names are, but I've been loving the idea of really simple eyeshadows, simple eyeshadow quads, because then I can get an eye look done without too much effort. So I'm just going to grab a clean brush and I'm going to use that shade Lilas, which is kind of like a pinky lavender shade, and I'm just going to throw this in my crease. I had really been liking the idea of cooler toned eyeshadows, but the truth is I am a neutral kind of warm type. I gravitate towards neutral warms. So I think what was great about this is that it was neutral, but it had just enough different in it to make me go, ooh, this is really pretty. Oh, I like this. I am not sure that this palette would work for people who have a deeper skin tone. I think if you've got like medium deep, I don't know that these shades are gonna all show up on you. I feel like the two matte shades in here are really pale and would work best on lighter skin tones, but I feel like the metallics might just be fantastic on anybody. But this shade right here, this shade just makes my heart happy. It's got enough color to it, but not so much that it makes me uncomfortable. And it's usually what keeps me from reaching for more colorful shadow looks, is that I definitely quickly get outside my comfort zone. Wow, these blend so nicely. And they're also light enough, and this might be a good clue that they wouldn't work well for everybody who doesn't have a very fair skin tone, is that I feel like I can keep dipping into the pan to get the type of coverage that I'm looking for and the intensity in the shade without it getting out of hand too quickly. So if it works well for somebody who has fair skin tone, it may not be, the shade range in here may not be deep enough. And the hard part would be if you're buying a quad and they don't all work for you, that could be a challenge. I do want to try this shade here. This one is called Tiramisu. I like the idea of a kind of a, I don't feel like it's a really dark gray. I feel like there's definitely darker shades in here, but I want to get a little bit of a kind of smoky. Wow, these are pretty. I did really get a little fallout down here, but I think that was because I really loaded my brush up. I feel like this color here, this Tiramisu shade, would also work really well in the crease if you were wanting a less pink look in the crease. There are two metallics in here. I'm going to use a darker of the two. This one right here is called Argenté. I don't speak French, but it's basically a type of silver for metalwork. Argenté. I don't speak French. I wasn't going to try anymore, but it's so pretty. I was using a brush, and I feel like I'm going to get a better intensity for this metallic if I just tap it on with my finger. This is still that Argenté shade. Beautiful though. This lightest shade right here is called Fondant. Ooh, look at that. Hello. Oh, so beautiful. I have been enjoying smaller size palettes for about a year now. I mean, I think I've always kind of gravitated towards them, but I really, really have been specifically seeking them out in my collection, making quads of my own, and really trying to limit the number of shades that I use. I feel like I get a more cohesive look. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm a makeup enthusiast, but I definitely get a more cohesive look when I don't spend time, oh, a little of this, a little of that, because every time I see a palette that's got like 15 or 16 shades, you know, 30 shades, I'm like, I want to use them all. And I'm literally that person who keeps dipping into more color. And what would have been great like 12 shades ago is now a little over the top. So this 4-pan palette really called to me when I saw it, because I can't say no. I can, but I don't. Another thing I did is, you'll notice I don't have any blush on, I don't have any highlight, I'm not wearing a lipstick. I wasn't sure what was going to go good with this, so I'm going to get the eye done first, and then we'll throw on a little bit of color on the rest of the face. We'll come to life, I promise. It won't be so corpse-like. I'm going to use a smaller brush, and I'm going to take that shade called Tiramisu, which is kind of like that really soft, cool gray, and just run it right here on the lower lash line. I don't want a lot of color, just a little bit of shadow and just a little bit of depth. I've grabbed a little bit of Agente, which is that darkest shade here, and I'm going to hit the lower lash line with that as well. It's sparkly, but it's the darkest, deepest, smokiest shade there is, so we'll use that. I don't think I'm going to throw on any more eyeshadow. I'm going to put on blush, lipstick, liner, mascara, and I'll be right back. I really love this eyeshadow palette. I mean, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Here's the one thing. I've always been afraid to wear cooler toned eyeshadows because I feel like they bring out my dark circles. I've always steered away from purples. I've always steered away from blues. I've always steered away from grays because I feel all they really do is highlight the darkness that I have here. And maybe I'm kind of now throwing caution to the wind and going, I'm wearing what I like, because I've always liked kind of like a silvery eyeshadow look, but I was always worried it was going to make me appear tired. I kind of don't care. These are really nice. I like them. Let's swatch. So this is what we have here. This one right here is Fondant. This is Lilas. This is Tiramisu. It's really hard to see because it's kind of similar to my skin tone, just a little cooler. And this one here is Agente. I think this is a beautiful quad. I don't think it's gonna work. All shades are gonna work for people who have a deeper skin tone. It's just because like these two, you're really not gonna see. They're close enough to my own skin tone that, you know, if the light hits them a certain way, they almost disappear, but I feel like they look really pretty on the eye. Now, this and this catch the light in the most spectacular way, and they do something that a lot of really beautiful high-end shadows do, which is they're sparkly, they're shimmery, but they don't look cheap and glittery. That's the one thing. So I feel like Charlotte Tilbury does it really well. I feel like Wayne Goss does it really well. I feel like Hourglass and Sydney Grace do it really well, but there are some other shadows that I've used. Some of them are drugstore, some of the ColourPop ones that I want it to look really pretty, and it looks more like glittery as opposed to shimmery, and I feel like this has a really pretty look to the eye without looking cheap, and that's never what I want. So I am gonna have to give you an updated, like I'm gonna wear it for a couple of weeks and then I'll give you an update on this guy as well as the other little guy. If you're curious to see this review again, it'll be in the description bar below, but I definitely love the idea of these smaller size. And I know we're not traveling right now, but I have created a makeup bag that I leave on my bathroom counter because the rest of my makeup is in a different place in the house. And I find that if I'm really going to get makeup on during the day, it's got to be like right after I get out of the shower. I'm in the process of drying my hair. I can put on some primer. I can put on a little concealer. And I'm not doing like a full face like this every day, but I find that when I have something easy like this to just drop in a bag, I will actually get some eyeshadow on. Otherwise, I run around with brows, concealer, like everything but eyeshadow, liner, and mascara. That's like, I don't have time for that. But if I drop one of these guys in there, it's a lot easier than dropping like a giant palette in there. That it's just gonna be, it's gonna make my life more difficult. Hello. There's my dog running into stuff down here. So let me know, did you see these guys? Are you interested in smaller size palettes, or do you like having like a plethora of options? Do you like those 30 pan palettes? Do you like those big kits that come at Christmas with like, 26 shadows? Let me know in the comments down below. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.